You've probably stood at the end of a garden row before, hands on your hips, staring down at a handful of skinny, forked, stubby little carrots that barely seem worth the effort. You planted them in the spring. You watered them all summer. You waited. And then you got this, a tangle of roots that look more like orange fingers than the fat, smooth, deeply colored carrots you were imagining when you dropped those tiny seeds into the ground. And maybe you blamed the seeds, or the weather, or the soil, or maybe you just shrugged and told yourself that carrots are tricky, that they take a certain kind of land, a certain kind of luck. But here is something worth sitting with for a moment. The problem almost certainly isn't what you planted, and it probably isn't the weather either. The problem is almost certainly something that happened long before you ever put a single seed in the ground. Something quiet, something invisible, something that most gardeners never think to address, because nobody ever showed them how. And once you understand what it is, your carrots will never be the same again. A few years back, I had the chance to spend some time near a garden that belonged to an Amish family. Not a large farm, just a modest kitchen garden, the kind kept close to the house, tended by hand season after season. What I noticed about that garden wasn't the size of it. It wasn't even the neatness of the rows, though the rows were remarkably tidy. What stopped me was the carrots. They were growing in a bed that couldn't have been more than 10 square feet. A simple raised area, edged with a few boards, nothing fancy. And from that small patch, they were pulling carrots that were long, straight, thick, and so deeply orange they almost looked painted. I asked how they did it, and the answer I got was not what I expected. There was no mention of a special seed variety, no talk of fertilizers or sprays or tricks. Instead, the answer was something more like a philosophy. "We don't grow carrots," they said quietly. "We grow the ground that grows carrots." That sentence stayed with me for a long time, because it sounds simple. It sounds almost like something you'd read on a decorative sign. But the more you think about it, the more you realize it changes everything about how you approach your garden. The Amish don't think of a carrot harvest as something that begins in spring when seeds go in the ground. They think of it as something that begins years before, sometimes decades before, with the slow, patient work of building soil. Here's the thing about carrots that most gardening books sort of gloss over. Carrots are a root vegetable. That seems obvious. But what that actually means in practical terms is that the health of your harvest is entirely, completely, 100% determined by what is happening below the surface of the soil. A carrot doesn't grow around obstacles. It forks when it hits a stone. It curves when it meets a dense clod. It stunts when the soil is too hard for it to push through. It grows thin and pale when the ground doesn't have the right balance of nutrients and organic matter to support deep, steady development. The carrot you pull in October is a portrait of your soil in the months leading up to harvest. Now, an Amish gardener understands this on an instinctive level that comes from years of watching the same ground respond to careful tending. They know that if you want a long, straight, heavy carrot, you have to think vertically. Most of us garden horizontally. We think about how much space we have left to right. We space our rows a certain distance apart. We think about square footage. An Amish neighbor thinks about depth, about what is happening 18 inches, 20 inches, 2 feet down in the earth. And so the work that produces those remarkable carrots is not the work done in spring. It is the work done in fall and in winter and in the years before. The Amish family I visited that day had been working that particular bed for over 15 years. Every autumn, they added a thick layer of aged compost. Every winter, they allowed the soil to rest and the earthworms to do their work undisturbed. Every spring, before any seed went in the ground, they loosened the soil by hand, deep, gentle, thorough, not to till it violently, but to open it. And the result of 15 years of that kind of patient care was soil that was alive, loose, dark, and deep in a way that most garden beds simply are not. Now, if you wanted to begin moving in this direction in your own garden, the good news is that you don't need 15 years to start seeing a difference. You can begin this season. The first thing worth thinking about is depth. If you're growing carrots in a standard garden bed, the most meaningful thing you can do right now, before you plant a single seed, is to loosen the soil deeply. Not just the top few inches, but 12 to 16 inches down. You're not trying to churn the soil or flip it upside down. You're just creating space. You're giving the roots somewhere to go without resistance. An Amish gardener would often use a broad fork for this, a long-handled tool with several deep tines that you push into the ground and gently lever back. It loosens the earth from below without destroying the structure at the surface. If you have one, this is a good time to use it. If you don't, even a garden fork worked in slowly and carefully can do a great deal of good. The second thing is what you put back into that loosened ground. Here is something you could start doing this season, even if your soil has never received much attention before. Take aged compost, and it should be well-aged, dark, crumbly, with that earthy smell, and work it into the top 8 to 10 inches of your carrot bed. Not a thin dusting. A generous amount, an inch or two, mixed in thoroughly. The Amish tend to use composted manure that is broken down over many months, sometimes a year or more. What you're looking for is material that is fully decomposed, no longer smelling sharp or fresh, and fine enough that it will mix evenly with your native soil without creating large clumps. This compost does something remarkable. It doesn't just feed the plant, it changes the physical character of the soil itself. It makes heavy soil lighter. It gives loose, sandy soil something to hold on to. It feeds the microbial life that breaks nutrients down into forms the carrot can actually use. And if you add it this season and again next autumn, you will begin to notice a difference in the texture of your ground within a year or two that is genuinely striking. One of the most common mistakes gardeners make with carrots, and you may have made this one yourself without knowing it, is adding too much fresh nitrogen to the bed. It seems logical. Nitrogen feeds plants. More should be better. But with root vegetables, excess nitrogen tends to produce something called forking. The plant puts its energy into lush, feathery top growth and sends roots scrambling in multiple directions, looking for balance. The result is those twisted, multi-rooted carrots that are hard to peel and often hollow in the center. An Amish gardener would recognize this immediately. They don't add fresh manure to a carrot bed. They add old, well-composted material that has lost most of its nitrogen intensity. The goal is a soil that is nourishing in a slow, steady, gentle way, not one that floods the plant with a sudden surge of any single nutrient. The other thing worth paying attention to is watering. Carrot roots follow moisture downward. If you water a little every day, the moisture stays near the surface and the roots stay near the surface with it. But if you water deeply and less frequently, giving the soil a good, thorough soaking and then allowing it to dry slightly before watering again, the roots have to reach downward to find that moisture. And in reaching downward, they grow long. This is something an Amish family manages naturally by paying attention to rain patterns, by pressing a finger into the soil and feeling what is there, by watching the color of the garden and noticing when it needs attention. It is not complicated. It just requires a kind of quiet observation that takes a little practice to develop. Here's one of the simplest tests you can do in your garden right now, today, before you do anything else. Find a spot in your carrot bed or wherever you plan to grow carrots and push a thin wooden stake or a pencil straight down into the soil. Just press it in gently without forcing it. How far does it go before you feel real resistance? If you can push it down 6 inches or more with only light pressure, your soil has decent structure and your carrots have a reasonable chance of growing well. If it stops after 2 or 3 inches, if you feel the earth pushing back hard before you've even gotten past the surface layer, you have your answer. Your soil is too compacted for carrots to grow freely. No amount of careful planting or precise watering will fully overcome that kind of resistance underground. This little test tells you more about your carrot growing potential in 10 seconds than almost anything else you could do. And it tells you exactly where your effort needs to go before a single seed is planted. Try it tomorrow morning. There is something that an Amish family once said that I think about every time I work in a garden. They were talking about a bed they had been tending for many years, and they said that the soil today is not something they built for themselves. It is something they built for the people who will garden after them, for their children and their children's grandchildren, and whoever else might one day work that ground. There is a generosity in that kind of thinking that is hard to find in modern gardening, where we tend to want results quickly and move on. But when you start to garden that way, when you start to think about what you are leaving behind rather than just what you're taking out, the whole relationship with the earth shifts. Your soil does not become good in one season, but it becomes a little better every season if you treat it with care. That small bed of 10 square feet that produced 50 pounds of carrots was not the work of a single summer. It was the quiet accumulation of years of attention, of composting, of loosening, of observing, of patience. And the beautiful thing is that your garden is already on that journey, whether you realize it or not. Every handful of compost you add, every time you choose to loosen the soil gently rather than pound it, every time you water deeply and give the roots a reason to reach, you are building something your garden will remember long after this season ends. I would love to hear about your own carrot experiences in the comments below. Whether you have had great success or years of puzzling failures, there's always something to learn from each other. Thanks for spending some time in the garden with me today. I'll see you in the next one.